So this is now the curved monitor. So let's take a look on the side camera and see what the difference is there. So hopefully you guys can see it. This thing I believe is a $1,500 curve. So what does that mean? Well, they measure the curve as if it was a radius. So if it's a circle, so you've got a 1000R, that would be really tight. A 1500R is less. 1800R circle is, even bigger, so it's not going to be as pronounced. But hopefully you guys can see that, and hopefully I don't drop it. There's a curvature to this. So this is their C27. That's the curved monitor. This one I had to get. When they said, hey, I've got a few monitors coming up, what do you want? I said, well, I've looked at some of these other ones. You've got some great IPS, great creator displays. What is this? And it was a 240 hertz regular aspect ratio, but it's on a curved display. I'm just plugging in this monitor now. That back looks killer. You can't see it because my studio lights are so bright, but it's got a really rich red color on it. Now there is only one color backlight on it, but if your monitor is visible from the back, that definitely screams gamer. I'm just plugging in the DisplayPort, which is always challenging. So this is another difference on this series of monitors. The plugs go in from the bottom, which some people prefer that, and then I can loop the display however I want. Hey, look at that. We're already back in, and guess what? Now we're at 240 hertz on that motion test. So that's crazy. So it automatically detected the monitor. It switched it up to 240 just like that. So it's a little bit bright right now. So to make it look better on screen, I can go down here. This buttons are now on the bottom, same OSD that we talked about. I'll come down here and I'll make the backlight a little bit darker so that it displays for you guys better at home. I have not seen a lot of 240 hertz monitors. This is honestly one of the first ones I've tested to this level. But I just want to show you the colors on this. So really decent color, and you get that 240 hertz refresh rate, less than $200. Those are the key takeaways here. Adjustability, that's about it. So you don't have a lot of tilt here. It does have built-in sound and speakers, I believe, on this model yet again. Yeah, I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it out of the speakers here because it does have a little bit of sound with this one. But yeah, again, another situation like that. If I look at the back side of it, hopefully you guys can see this. It's going to have that RGB. Let me flip it over from the bottom and you can see the inputs. So that's where your cords go in. You've got 3 HDMI, 1 DisplayPort, and then a headphone output. And I've been using the headphone outputs, honestly, a lot more to save cables instead of running another audio cable or something. Let's talk about how it did in the testing. We'll come back over here because I did analyze this one. As far as the test goes, again, very, very similar to the other one, sRGB. It did come in with more color. It's got 100% of sRGB, which again, that's what most games are coded to, so you're not going to be gaining a lot. It's 89% of the P3 space, so that's again your print media, that kind of stuff. Tone response, again, dead on to Gamma 2.2 there. A little bit at the bottom, it drifts. Brightness and contrast, again, over 300 nits of brightness, which we love, and contrast ratio of almost 2,000 to 1. So very good contrast. That's kind of expected on a VA panel, so you're going to get that. And then screen uniformity, we're starting to see some of the darker orange. And again, I actually did this test twice just because I was worried that maybe I did the test wrong. You're not going to see it necessarily. The curve of the monitor is enough that you're looking at the monitor directly most of the times. And again, I don't know, we'll have to do the test and measurement a few times. Let's go to color accuracy. And this is an interesting thing. I started seeing numbers that, again, were kind of all over. And I didn't like that. So I actually ran the color test again with one tune-up that I did. I lowered the brightness a little bit and I increased the backlight. Because what I'm seeing on a lot of these is straight out of the factory in standard mode. They're coming in a little bit like muted. They're like a little bit too bright, but then not a lot of contrast. So by changing that, I actually did get a better result for the color. Let's view that. So this is the 240 color test that I did. And you can see now, again, those colors in the gray ranges because it's expecting those gradients. Not as good, but they're better. Everything's usually between 2 and 3 now on this one. So the purpose of this monitor, 240 hertz, is first-person gaming. This is going to be your Warzone. This is going to be your console, which these do all support consoles at 120 hertz. I don't think there's any consoles that go over 120 right now. So this would make a fantastic gift. I don't know any practical gamer that would say, please don't give me a curved 27-inch 240 hertz. So as you're plugging these in, up to 165 hertz is on the display port. It's saying 240 here on the HDMI. Now what's funny is I'm actually getting 240 out of the display port. I was just checking that. So maybe that's a misprint on here, but I was actually getting 240 out of the display port, 120 hertz on the last two inputs. So if you have your gaming machine and you have it plugged into the HDMI 2 or 3 and you're not getting the full resolution or full speed, that might be something to quickly check, is to make sure and put it in the different inputs. But I would save the other inputs for maybe an Xbox 360 or something similar to that. So